Okay, this is on part 3 of Miami Virtue. This one was really confusing to me, so I'm going to focus on more of like the Miami problem than some of the relays that Omar talked about. So he said that we have to toward the side of the problem, which is Miami, and to answer, we have to select an image to answer like a burning question, which is basically like how do we fix this? So the image is obviously crossroads in it. We have to like note any signifiers through if we create a master structure for this problem. Along with that, I liked how he talked about how our brain doesn't work like a library card catalog. It's not this, and this, like very straightforward. It works better on like feelings and sharing feelings and different tones we use. So the fundamental thing about the image is using the thing called Stimmung, which is what triggers a feeling in us, and translating that back to the Miami River. So he says the Stimmung allows circumstances to matter to a person. So why does the Miami River problem matter? And he also said not the way we write this disaster is not through, like I said, like library catalog kind of stuff, like definitions and concepts. We have to use state of mind, which is basically the foreground of electricity. And then he goes on to kind of compare Stimmung to something called Bestamen. And Stimmung, like I said, is like state of mind, kind of that triggering feeling. And then Bestamen is more, seems like literal, like definitions and to define things. So what literacy does with Bestamen, that's what electricity does with Stimmung. So that's kind of an analogy to use. And our testimonial, we're not like going with the Bestamen thing. We're not using that. We don't want to define the problem. We want to discover its mood, and that's how we can help it. So going back to the Miami River, how does this picture, the image that is draws the disaster, which is called a crossroads, record like what we need to do here? Okay, so basically we pair the river scene, which is the now, with the then, so we can find how to solve the disaster. And the then is a scene or memory that the river scene triggers in us. So the goal of choreography, which we're doing here, is how we can help this problem through a digital network and get the flash of spirit through the picture. Ulmer talked about matrices, which I didn't really understand, but he said that there's a repetition of matrices against the levels of the pop cycle, and there's a literal mattress, which is literally like what's happening with Haiti and the trade of goods and how they're coming in out of the port, the moral mattress, and then an anagogical mattress, which I do not really understand. Let's see. Okay, so he did talk about how basically what we're doing here, once we find the situation, is to design a new mood. And then he went in and talked about how we all have myths of our area, and that's kind of like our expectations. So the point of the agent is to go in and change whatever that myth is. So that apparently if you do that, then that can help solve the disaster. So yeah, that's basically what I got from this reading. A lot of it was confusing with all of the background stories about China and the Greek philosophers, but okay, thanks.